Coronavirus pandemic brings life across the country to a grinding halt. Americans are facing a new normal, one that may include losing their jobs, losing their income, and even losing their health insurance. To help us navigate this, let's bring in NBC News senior business correspondent Stephanie Rule and NBC News investigative and consumer correspondent Vicki Wynn.
Hello, 5 buckets of gas on pump 1, please.
That will be 1970. Have a nice day.
Tonight on Block News Network, the fallout of President Herobrine's travel ban. Following his decision yesterday to ban all travel from Europe for the next 30 days, the stock market suffered a relentless drop this morning. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 2,352 points when trading closed for the day, the single largest one-day drop since 1987. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq were each down more than 9%. Tonight we have a special guest from Greenfield's Finance Department, Kwasi Blockford. Thanks for joining us tonight, Mr. Blockford.
Thanks for having me.
So, Mr. Blockford, can you explain to us the effects of the travel ban and all the other crazy things happening in the world in our economy?
Sure, I brought a few things to help everyone better understand what I'm explaining. Let's take a look at a supply and demand graph for toilet paper. As you can see here, the red lines represent supply and demand just last month. The blue lines represent the supply and demand that was just posted several hours ago by several stores. You can see the dramatic shifts as there's a very strong demand shock for toilet paper.
There have been rumors of a nationwide shutdown if the pandemic worsens. Can you explain what the effects of that would be if it were to happen?
That's a great question, and I really hope it doesn't come to that. But in short, if it were to happen, the unemployment rate would increase dramatically in the country as businesses that aren't essential to the economy would temporarily close. It's a domino effect in a way. Those business closures could lead to a recession, which in turn lead to more unemployment. This time it's cyclical unemployment, which happens because of negative things that happen to the economy, like recessions, instead of frictional unemployment, where people are just unemployed because they're in the middle of switching jobs or in the middle of graduating from college and are looking to find work.
Ugh, this sounds terrifying. I'll just hope for the best and head to bed. Somehow we're considered essential workers. We're not even grocery store cashiers. We're Starbucks workers. Oh, gotta go. Customer's at the register. Hi, welcome to Starbucks. What can I get for you today?
Yeah, I'd like a venti mango dragon fruit refresher.
I'm sorry, but due to current supply shortages, we're out of dragon fruit. Our inventory is running low on a lot of items.
Still?
Unfortunately, yeah. The ports are still super backed up, and because we have to import dragon fruit, they're still stuck in that queue. May I recommend something else to drink?
Nah, it's fine. I'll just have a strawberry iced tea. Why is it so expensive now? It used to be under $7.
I'm sorry, that's just our prices right now because of inflation due to the minimum wage increase. Hello, 5 buckets of gas on pump 1, please.
That will be 1560.
Huh, cheaper than normal. Longer lines than usual. Are there not enough cashiers?
Nope, big labor shortage right now. Despite being essential workers, our pay is still low, so many of us just quit. The increase in government spending with the increased unemployment checks are enticing enough. Combine that with a lot of jobs aren't valuing their workers enough, it's leading to a lot of discouraged workers.
Ah, that's unfortunate. Hopefully it gets better soon.
I hope so too. The unemployment benefits are looking pretty sweet right now. Anyways, that will be $42.78.
Oh, wow, that's expensive. All this inflation has made my purchasing power fall by a lot.
What are you looking for?
I was looking for a few things. I was hoping to possibly pick up some additional RAM and a new graphics card for my computer. Also, would you happen to have any PS5s available?
Looking to put that stimulus check to good use, I see. So we do have some RAM sticks in the back. Unfortunately though, we still are out of stock of both the PS5s and newer graphics cards models. We should still have some older 30 series in the back, but definitely no 3070s or anything newer. Sorry.
I figured as much. Anything in the 30 series is better than what I have right now. How much are the 3060 Ti's?
Alright, so that's gonna be $400 for the graphics card. And did you still want to purchase some RAM, or is that it?
Sure. I'll take two 16GB stacks. From Corsair if you have it.
Yeah, we got that. That'll be a total of $469.
For the first time in history, American oil prices collapsed below $0, ending the trading day at a whopping negative $37.63 per barrel. As a result of travel bans and the nationwide shutdown, the demand for oil has dropped significantly, forcing traders to actually pay potential buyers to purchase it. Refineries are now producing less oil than usual, with most of their production sitting in storage facilities. A record-breaking 160 million barrels are currently being stored in anchored tankers. As the pandemic continues to worsen, the travel industry experienced an extreme surplus of their commodities. In April alone, the total number of operated flights in the U.S. dropped from 584,000 to an astounding 194,000. A record-breaking amount of airlines canceled their scheduled domestic flights with a total of 41.3%. The previous high was 20.2% immediately following the terror attacks on 9/11. Airline prices also dropped dramatically, with prices dropping an average of nearly 40% for round-trip domestic flights.
Glad to be back. So the stimulus checks were developed in order to try and bring our economy back to a state of equilibrium. Here I have two graphs. Both are basically the same thing. They show the state of our economy in regards to current national inflation and output. As you can see here with this red dot, this is where our economy currently is. It's in an area called a recessionary gap, as we're producing less than our maximum capacity because of the national shutdown. However, we're not currently in a recession, and the government wants to keep it that way. We're not in a recession just yet, just because one, the government hasn't declared it to be a recession, and two, we haven't been in that area long enough. And due to the pandemic shutdown, consumer spending has dropped to a record low. And the stimulus checks are a form of social insurance, similar to the rent forgiveness and the increased unemployment benefits I'm sure you all heard of by now. The checks will be deposited directly into each citizen's bank accounts. And check sizes vary in amount and are based on adjusted gross income and many other complicated variables, most of which just involve your tax bracket.
Don't need to know the rest. I know I'd definitely make enough to get one.
Tonight, a look at how American spending habits have changed over the past years.
So there are only two things that anyone can do with money, and you either spend it or you save it. And that ratio between the two is called the marginal propensity to consume and the marginal propensity to save. The way the two numbers interact can be a factor that plays into the forecasted inflation and consumer confidence, as well as a way to determine the economy's health. This chart here shows three different periods of time within the past 12 years. The 2009 recession, the economy's growth following the recession, and most recently during the COVID pandemic. Let's focus here on the two right bars. As you can see, for every dollar Americans earned from 2011 to 2019, an average of about 40 cents was saved. But once the pandemic and its effects began to be felt in 2020, that average dropped to 35 cents. This is because as stores began to limit customer capacity and close some locations, combined with an increasing amount of workers who are being laid off, people were forced to save their money. Purchases that used to be for a lot of non-essential goods like a lot of clothing, shoes, decorations, those are now essentially gone. Now purchases are mostly limited to just essential goods.
Hey, did you hear that some Starbucks in New York were unionizing?
I thought that Starbucks doesn't have unions.
Special case this time.
What will unionizing even do for us?
Well, in short, we'll get better training, hopefully better pay, and hopefully better schedules.
Well, that sounds great. Why haven't we unionized before?
Cuts into their profits too much. It costs a lot to train us properly. I don't really know. Workers don't deserve rights, I guess.
Hello, 5 buckets of gas on pump 1, please.
That will be $22.95.
Whoa, that's way more expensive than usual.